Stephen Colbert, soon to be out of a job, but not soon enough, throwing a fit over his network, telling him that he cannot air an interview with Texas Democrat who's running for governor, James Tallarico, accusing the network of being scared of Trump's FCC and the equal time rule, which requires broadcasters to offer comparable airtime to rival candidates of a qualified political contender. Here is Colbert.
You know who is not one of my guests tonight? That's Texas State Representative James Tallarico. He was supposed to be here, but we were told in no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers, who called us directly, that we could not have him on the broadcast. Let's just call this what it is. Donald Trump's administration wants to silence anyone who says anything bad about Trump on TV, because all Trump does is watch TV.
Colbert is not the smartest guy, dramatically overpaid and very dramatic. CBS is now denying Colbert's claims, saying they only provided legal advice regarding the FCC equal time rule, presenting Colbert options for how he can fill the equal time requirement, which included interviewing another of the Texas gubernatorial candidate's opponents in the race, which would have been as easy as just bringing on Jasmine Crockett, who's another Democrat that Colbert loves to get a tongue bath to every time he sees her. It didn't even have to be a Republican. This was all just a manufactured scandal for Colbert, trying to stay relevant, trying to get attention. He refused that alternative, ended up airing the interview solely on his YouTube channel with Tallarico. Kari Lake is the acting CEO of U.S. Agency for Global Media and a media expert herself, and she joins us now. How funny is this? All he had to do was stick to what this is a fundamental FCC requirement that has been ignored for a very long time. And Brendan Carr is not doing that any longer. And this was a very simple thing to fix.
It was a no-brainer, but Stephen Colbert doesn't have a brain, I guess, because all they got to do is bring Jasmine Crockett on. I thought she was their flavor of the week.
They love her. But
something tells me that they're realizing that Jasmine Crockett's not going to fly in this race. This is just my guess as an astute observer. And they wanted to bring somebody on who seemed a little more moderate because they realized that they're pushing people away with radical policy and agenda items like, transitioning children, hysterectomies for 13-year-old girls, castrations for 13-year-old boys, sex changes, radicalizing our kids in school, forcing them to march in anti-ICE rallies, flooding the border with illegals. They're realizing that all of that isn't working, and they want to present somebody who they think is going to seem more palatable, and they don't want to have someone like Jasmine Crockett on.
Which is, and I think you have a point that he wanted to push Tallarico because he thinks Tallarico might have the best shot as a Democrat in Texas, but that also shows Stephen Colbert as a political, such a political actor. When he's supposed to have this show, he's on a broadcast, federally regulated network, and he's sitting there thinking about what's best for the Democrat Party. How do I push the right person so that we can help the party gain power, which goes to the core of the issue here, which is that this is supposed to be a late night talk show. And it's supposed to be entertainment, and it's been so corrupted, and the fact that he's so indignant over it is what's comical.
Bingo. Think back to Johnny Carson when we actually could kind of just enjoy comedy in the evenings. Even Jay Leno, before they got so political, where they just became an arm in outreach for the Democrat Party or, frankly, the Communist Party.
Everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.